there. Many thanks for joining us on this edition of Nation Watch. I am Enemaku Ojochegbe. Of course, a Merry Christmas to you and yours wherever you are. This is a rather very interesting edition. And of course, on Nation Watch, we discuss nothing that you can imagine, except, of course, it does not exist, all right? In other words, we discuss any and everything that concerns our nation, Nigeria, and every nook and cranny, at every level of government, as it concerns good governance and, of course, provision of basic infrastructure for Nigerians and its citizens. Well, we're focusing on Kogi State today, and of course, governance in Kogi State, a lot of people believe that it has improved, but there is some sort of deafening silence according to some of the schools of thought, as it were. And we would like to delve in to see what it looks like in Kogi State today. Civil service, security, education, health, infrastructure, transportation, and every otherwise. Agriculture, of course, which is, of course, one of the most important basic human needs. All right, I'm not in the studio alone. I have someone who is very close to the government and, of course, an APC chieftain, as a chieftain of the ruling All Progressives Congress in Kogi State. I'm talking about, in no particular order, the pastor Enejo Simon Sani. Thanks for joining us on Nation Watch.
Good afternoon. I'm glad to be here.
This is your program. You are not I don't regard you as a guest on Nation Watch anymore, because you have been here a number of times and we've discussed very salient issues that concern this country and Kogi State, as a matter of fact. Let's go right straight into it. What is it like in Kogi State right now? It's been 1 year since Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo assumed office, and a lot of people they say they are not sure people in Kogi State are not sure what to even believe. Tell us about that.
Well, just to correct an impression, it's he'll be 1 year in office on the 27th of January 2025.
That's right.
But it's over a year that we won elections, and I'm glad, like you said, I'm not a guest on Nation Watch, and we have had a couple of conversations, discussions, and trails of conversation from before primary elections.
That's right.
To the main election, to victory, to court, and all of that.
And of course, and the declaration of the Supreme Court verdict.
Yes, so which subsists till 2027.
That's right.
Right, and you know, we are very proud of the governor. He took over on the 27th of January 2027.
2023.
Sorry, 2023. Yeah. You know, I'm already thinking ahead.
That's good. It's only
I'm already thinking
only
ahead.
Only those who see themselves as progressives act that way.
Yeah, so we believe God to keep us beyond that time and see progress, actually. So he took oath of office on the 27th of January 2023, yes. And you know, you remember I told you after the elections that the governor was going to hit the ground running. I'm glad these things are on tape. We can go back to them, and he had actually hit the ground running.
But how much of that can citizens of Kogi State and, of course, other Nigerians, how much can they see at the moment in terms of infrastructure and security, if we must begin from there?
Now, we will not, let's quickly talk about prompt payment of salaries and pensions. You know, Kogi State is a civil service state, and he's working very hard, I tell you, day and night to woo investors, both foreign and local. Just within the week, he signed a memorandum of understanding with a Chinese investment company within this week. And that has been happening over time. I mean, it's been a very frequent occurrences since he took over. And you know, the prompt payment of salaries and pension has revitalized the economy of Kogi State in terms of, you know, when salaries and pensions are paid, you can understand that people have more purchasing power, and then businesses move. And it's also worthy of note that he was among the first governors to implement minimum wage, and he implemented, federal government said 70,000, he implemented 72,500, which he has since been paying. And I can confirm to you, you know, some times ago I was here and I told you how because of the meager resources coming into the state, local government salaries and pensions were prorated, paid in percentages. But I can confirm to you today that both state and local government earn their salaries and pensions 100%. And it's worthy to note that some amount was added to pensioners also, those who have retired. When you talk about health care, over 167,000 civil servants in Kogi State have been enrolled on the state insurance, health insurance scheme. And this is also open to pensioners. If you are very familiar with Lokoja, the Zone 8 road used to where the Federal High Court is, where the State House of Assembly is, and other government agency. That road has since been done and street lights put there. It has also improved security in that area. And I can tell you the state vigilante have been greatly motivated. As I speak to you, they earn up to 117,000 naira. And I saw a lot of people humorously calling on social media that they want to be employed with the state, Kogi State Vigilante. So this excites us, and these are informations you can verify. I mean, they are very authentic information. And well, as we go on, we'll get to talk. And you know, security has relatively improved also. He's been able to establish a military base in Omala because of those incidences of attack. And you know, he's not up to a year in office. He's been to Omala twice. And the last time he went, by 8 o'clock, he was already in Ayangba. Before 9, he was in Omala. And he was in that axis till about 5 p.m. You can't believe that he was stopping on the way, buying fishes, and just, you know, integrating with the people. And I can tell you, he's one person who like those at the grassroots a lot. So it's been a lot, a handful in the last 11 months, I would say. And I can tell you that Kogi is on the path of progress.
All right. You mentioned an improvement in the economy of Kogi State because of the prompt payment of salaries and pensions, the pensions and other entitlements of civil servants and what have you. Quite a good move. But you see, civil servants in Kogi State will vehemently oppose this because they will tell you that payment of salaries promptly is not really a favor, that it is their right. Well, that the former government did not consider it to pay their entitlements on time does not guarantee that, you know, the new government that is paying on time is now doing them a favor and what have you, that it is their right. That's what they'll tell you. So if you talk about, you know, the prompt payment, the promptness of the salaries and pensions and arrears, does that have an direct impact on the internally generated revenue? And if that's the case, how has business activities improved in Kogi State, in the city of Lokoja, the state capital, at this time, for instance?
You know, I need to correct an impression. The last government was also paying salaries. And let's not go back too much, but we need to also set the record straight.
No, we're not going back. We're only addressing what the civil servants themselves have said.
You know, the previous administration that handed over to this administration took a very bold step to verify civil servant, you know, to eliminate ghost workers.
That's right,
Yeah,
which was done extensively
yeah,
for a long time.
extensively. And you know, we must also applaud that government for that courage, because I believe that you won't want people who are not workers, I mean legitimate living workers in Kogi State, to earn from Kogi State.
Nobody who doesn't work should earn from where he's not working.
Okay,
definitely.
Good. So I'm happy that we're on the same page.
Definitely.
So,
let me add something to that. I don't mean to interrupt you. The immediate past deputy governor did say something which I recall vividly. He was in Abuja at a point, and we had an encounter with him, myself and a number of other journalists. And he did say that even a cousin of his, who was, illegally earning from the state civil service, and at the same time was an employee of one of the federal government agencies here in Abuja, was affected, and that his name was duly removed from the state government's treasury, and that practice was stopped and all of that. And I asked him further, which was a good move you did, but did you go further to prosecute him? And of course, he asked me not to bother about that. So to confirm what you said, yes. So that is very wrong. And of course,
so we must applaud government, the previous administration, for that bold step. And I can tell you, after that was done, salaries was withheld for a long time, for some months, and those who were verified were paid all their entitlements. Yes. Well, my uncle is retired as a state worker, as a DG of the state radio. So I can get first-hand information. He was paid. I remember it was this December time. Was it 2017 or so? Okay. And there was no member of the family he didn't send money to that period. Okay. So we need to correct that impression. And like I told you in previous edition, state workers were earning their salaries and pensions 100%, even with the previous administration. And I also did say that because of the meager resources that was coming, they had to prorate salaries for local government workers. But allocation has greatly improved. And this current administration has taken it upon itself to do 100%. So when salaries are not paid, complaints are everywhere. That's what happens. Okay. But when it's being paid, nobody talks about it. Nobody wants it talked about. They tell you it's not a right. But it's important that we are very fair. It's important that we are objective, that when government is doing what they are supposed to do, it's important we applaud them, let them know they are on the right path. And appreciation is an application for more.
All right. Let's talk about, projections for next year. The expectations are definitely high. And of course, considering the promises that the governor himself made during the campaigns and during his inauguration and given the last 11 months and all of that, a lot of expectations are high. Talking about, you did mention some of the MOUs that were signed for foreign investors to come in and all of that. A lot of citizens of Kogi State are aware that Kogi State is very rich in terms of mineral resources, in terms of, and very recently, the latest mineral resource that was added is crude oil.
That's right. That's
of course, the world is about to move away. Many countries of the world are trying to move away from crude oil, but at this time, that this country hasn't quite made a decision yet. Is there a chance that the proliferation or exploitation of the mineral resources that are that the state is rich in, talk about columbine, granite, and all of that, how do you see that this government can gainfully engage youths of Kogi State to get them working? I know there are a number of factories working, that are employers of labor in Kogi State. But as we look at projections for next year, what are the expectations that citizens of Kogi State, especially the youths, should look forward to that the government can, engender?
You see, I've been privileged to be around the governor a few times, and you need to hear the passion with which he talks about the mineral deposit in Kogi State. I mean, he's extremely passionate about. And because of that passion, they are on his fingertips. The mineral resources, there are over 32 of them.
That's right.
And, you know, he knows where they are. And you know, some of these mineral resources are on the exclusive list. You know, we have exclusive and concurrent list. So some of them are on the exclusive list that federal government have jurisdiction. The government is working very hard to ensure that we have an understanding with federal government on how these mineral resources will benefit Kogi people. In the words of the governor, that Kogi people's money will be used to develop Kogi, and the mineral resources will be used to develop Kogi State. So I can tell you, it's a top priority for this government, and in the coming months, we'll be here to talk about development in that regards.
I'm looking forward to that encounter when that time comes.
Yes.
Pastor Enejo Simon Sani, thanks a lot for joining us on Nation Watch this time around.
Thank you.
That's how it's been on this edition of Nation Watch. Thanks a lot for watching. I am Enemaku Ojochegbe.